It's Kringle Time. Sit back and relax as we dive into a world of laughter and learning with the Kringle Brothers, reminding us that we are better together.
Hey, welcome to
Hey,
Kringle Time,
hello
everyone.
everyone. Oh yeah, yes, John. We know that the Stanley Cup playoffs are here. Also, we got
Oh,
Pistons
nice.
basketball on tonight.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Game what? Game
Game
five.
five. Game
Nice.
five.
Go
So,
Pistons. Sorry.
well, we're gonna go wherever they need to go to. So, how are you, Michael?
I'm your host, Michael, and here's
And
my other friend, host.
Herbie.
I'm learning. I'm getting better
I
at the
know we are
phone.
getting better at that.
Finally, dyslexic kind of thing. I just gotta stay in dyslexic mode because it's opposite, but
Well,
it's
that's all
just
right.
really good. But John's on and Bubba's on. Good to see you
Oh
guys.
yeah, we got Alan on and Bill and Charlie's with us.
Oh, awesome.
Jenny
Wonderful.
Kringle.
Oh, Jenny. Oh, that would be good.
Oh my goodness.
Well, tonight is our Q&A.
Yeah, we just felt like we should actually just open up the mailbag and see what you all would like us to talk about
And then
today.
we've had some questions sent to us, so we'll try to answer those. So thanks for everyone who sent us questions, and we'll talk about that. But and then we's also on the other side of the fence.
We
I
have more
wrote up some
fences?
questions to ask you
Oh,
and to
so we
get
can have
your
some fun.
response from people to see how you would respond, and then we can share your response. I like it.
So do you want to go with the mailbag from our viewers first, and then after the bottom half of the show, we can ask the questions to the people?
Well, we could do that. Why don't we ask? Sue sent us a question. Why don't we
Sue did.
answer Sue's question? And
All right.
then I got a little poll thing that I thought I would ask to find out where our listeners are at and that type of stuff. And so, knock on wood, as I keep trying to learn new operations for
New
EV
craziness.
Mux, you know,
All
cross
right.
my fingers, cross my elbows. This is all going to work.
Just don't cross your knees because then people are going to start asking questions.
All right. So here you
You want
let
me to
me
read Sue? You want me to
yeah,
read Sue's question?
you go ahead. Why don't you read Sue's question, and
All right.
then
This is
I'm
coming
anxious to
from.
hear your part of the answer compared to my part of the
Well,
answer.
I'll ask you the question and then you could fill in and then I will then answer. How about that?
All right, that's
All
good. I
right.
like it.
So, from our faithful watcher and all around great gal, Sue, I know that you are brothers from other mothers, but when did you discover that you were brothers? How did you become brothers? Are there any funny stories related to this family relationship?
There's tons of funny stories.
Well,
You know what I'm
we live
saying?
both in the same place for a while. There's going to be a story somehow or another.
So how do we become brothers? It was one of those, it was back to COVID. I started the Zoom lunchtime with maps
Mm-hmm.
and just put it out there because I knew in me, the educator in me or whatever, that we're better together. And so taking that premise and that belief, then started that, and you came, and then we just talked, and sometimes you meet somebody that you feel like you've known them all your life,
Mm-hmm.
that you've been friends and you've gone to school and you have, and Mike was that way. You were that way for me. And so it was just an immediate, you're my brother. I mean, just I felt such a kindred spirit with you, and like-mindedness and laughing and fun. It was just like, so that was literally like the beginning, Sue, of that brotherhood. And so then things, just like anything else, we started to, when we had the opportunity for COVID coming to the end and we could be with each other, then we were like, hey, road trip, well, I've got to come down there, you come here, and we'll meet, and it
Right.
just, it progressed. How's that? I mean, how about you? How would you answer that?
Well, I think again, like we've said this many a times. I mean, Michael and I met because of COVID and with the Zoom sessions. But as we started getting to know each other, and as we started talking, and we started talking about how we grew up,
Yeah.
that unknown to the both of us. I mean, we've had similar things that happen in our formative years.
Yeah.
Like Sel. Well, yes, Sel. He says our parents were Chris and Jessica Kringle. check your birth certificates, and that's why you're brothers. Because remember, he didn't make us birth
He did make
certificates.
his birth certificates. That was
He
fun.
made us legitimate. But
Well,
it was
there's a lot of stories that I don't have. Like I've never jumped off an aircraft carrier.
well, I didn't jump off, I fell off. There's a huge difference between
I've never blown
barely
up a
jumping.
plane. I've never
Well,
blown up and fried a plane.
yeah, but I never had to actually use an outhouse on a routine basis.
Well,
I
there's a
also
few.
never
I'm
worked in a
sure there's a few
pizzeria.
trees in there.
But once we actually end up starting to talk, and we realize that the goals from just being people, not just from a Santa or a performer,
Yeah, our love for people.
are
Yeah.
it just kind of drew us more together. I mean, we both enjoy making people laugh and entertaining and sharing those special moments and being part of the larger tradition. And then we both discovered through Steve Gillum's classes, we want to
Yep.
be performance-based Santas.
Yep.
And no, John, I was never pushed off the aircraft carrier. I was wrapped up twice in the jet blast and rolled off the side. And then once on small boats, I fell between two small boats and thought I could swim the length of the ship. Don't do that in aircraft carriers long. And that was one was in the Mediterranean, the other one was in the Atlantic Ocean, and then the third was in Haifa, Israel.
Well, I tell you what, we could save if you ever get a chance to see us in person. We'll save that for a lunch conversation because there's some really wild stories you have.
Yeah. Oh, when I start talking about my military days, yeah, we can have a good time right there. So,
So let's do this. All
what's
right.
going to do?
I mean, whoop! Oh,
Oh, we're going to do a poll
years as
already.
a Christmas performer. So, in other words, so are you new at this? 0 to 3. Option B would be 4 to 6. Option C would be 7 to 10. D would be 11 to 20. E would be 21 to 30, and then F would be I'm older than dirt. I've done this for more than 30 years, which that's my category. You know what I mean? So, all right. So, oh, look, it's coming in. People are responding already.
Now,
Awesome.
just remember your responses. Instead of just putting the letter down, you have to put hashtag and then the letter.
Yeah,
So, for
hashtag in
instance,
front of it.
hashtag C or hashtag D. So, again, those that have already voted, go ahead and re-vote, but or put in your information, but put down like let's see, Mike Connor put hashtag B,
Good job, Mike. Tom.
Gary hashtag C, Jason hashtag A, John hashtag B. This way it'll pick up.
Yeah. So they're starting to come in. It looks
Yeah.
like
Yep,
hopefully
there
we're
we
getting.
go. Thank you, Charlie. We got those going on there too. There you go, guys. Now you're getting the hang
Oh,
of it, and now
yeah.
you're
There we
seeing in
go.
real time the
I almost
difference
feel like
there.
we should be doing like, come on, give me an A, gotta get an A. I gotta be a C, C, D, D,
See,
C.
see, 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 see. Do I have a C over here? Do I have a C over here? Oh, no, no, we got D. We got D. We got D going once. We got D going twice. Oh, no, no, no. We got E. E is now on the market there. Yes, we could be professional
Oh,
auctioneers.
look at Sandy. You're wonderful. Sandy, you can't type all the other text. It just has to be hashtag E, Sandy.
Right.
I'm not sure it's going to read it with all your cute little icon, but I really like the icon.
That's
She
awesome.
put a little Mrs. Claus in there.
That's cool.
I love it.
So, as people are voting, Michael, here's another question that I have.
All right.
All right, so let's see here. Let's find a really good one here. Okay, here's one. How do you create your own version of Santa without copying someone else?
Oh, my version of Santa. Well, that comes back to our character development stuff. In other words, who do I want to be represent? What are those elements in the Santas that I see? In other words, like for me, it's the Santa in Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, growing up, being born in the '60s, right, late '50s, early '60s, without giving the exact, I mean, that was my Santa. I mean, that was the Santa that I remember as a child. And we had that question, who wants a skinny Santa, right? And then the spirit of Christmas present, what I mean? So when I look at those different components of what I grew up in and wanting to them, and then literally taking those three for me and then trying to morph them into my present portrayal that I have today.
See, that's interesting. I like to look at like this. I mean, I know we have. I mean, we have a good selection. I mean, one of the largest selections put on our graph here are Santas with 0 to 3 years
Yeah, new
of
Santas.
experience, and that's great. We're so glad that you're here. For me, I guess I think at first, I think we all basically copy, like you mentioned, the Ras Bankin Santas or the Tim Allen Christmas Claus, Santa Claus,
Yeah.
or Miracle on 34th Street, Edmund Gwynn. But you know what? As you get into more and more research, and as you end up starting to develop your own answers and your own questions, you'll start coming out of that shadow of those that came before you, and you'll start making your own for whatever reason. For example, when I'm on stage as Santa, I get this weird Cockney accent as if I'm from England. And in fact, at one event, I had a gentleman come up to me and go, "Santa, what accent is that?" And I don't even remember how, but I said North Polish.
Yeah, that's
And at
yeah.
that point, it just stuck.
Yeah, it came out of your mouth and said, "Ooh, got to keep that one."
Yeah, that was it. Let's see. Charlie has a good one here. My Santa is Charlie, quit using big words. My Santa is an amalgam of all the Santas I have seen in person and on TV with my own flavor. My core Santa is always the same with slight changes over the years as I develop my craft. And that's a perfect example, Charlie.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
one of
great
the things
example.
that's one of the things we're looking at and seeing, because one of my favorite books that I've actually picked up was Steal Like an Artist. And one of the lines that really always sit with me is, there's nothing left original. Everything's been done. But you know how you become original? By taking what is already done and putting your own unique twist on it.
Yeah.
Now, I know for me, and we've talked about this, a book I found that is just amazing is The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum,
Yep.
which basically totally just answers so many more questions for me, dealing with the elves and the fairies and different elements of the Fey world, that it totally now changed some of my backstory and some of my characterization. So,
And I think too, when you start to do study, especially with your backstory study, at least for me, there's tons of information that I've learned and that I've looked at, but I don't necessarily go and I don't have to spill everything. It influences me, it changes me and it makes me better, but I don't want to feel like I've got to give you everything that I've learned. It's not that type of situation. I think there's a lot of things that we learn that are just for yourself.
and I think you make a very good point on that one, because one of the things too with some of my research I've been doing is, when you're a new Santa, you want to dazzle everybody with the knowledge that you have. And it's like, ooh, look at me, look at me, look at me. I feel like that guy from Mad TV, Stuart. Not Stuart Deacon, he's a great guy, but Stuart, the character from Mad TV.
Right.
But I think, in all honesty, is to be able to answer difficult questions, to be able to deal with different types of people by doing your research and understanding how
Yeah.
Santa, Mrs. Claus, or an elf thinks with what you know. You don't have to give all that information out, but it lays the foundation of how you would respond and how you would answer.
All right, let's ask our viewers a question,
All
and
right,
then
let's see.
and then we'll post some of these answers from them. It says, if you could visit anywhere in the world as Santa, where would it be?
Okay,
Where would you, if there was a place anywhere in the world, and even in America, we don't want to limit all of the America places, but if you could go anywhere as Santa and be Santa there, where would you go? Where would you like to go? Do you have a response to that, Michael?
if I could go anywhere in the world, that's hard.
That it is.
I mean,
But you're well traveled too.
well, yeah, but at the same time, though, too, is when you sit there and you look. Oh, Jenny Kringle said Ireland. Oh, that would be fine.
Ooh,
That would be a lot of fun.
Ireland would be fun.
See, there's another one. Robert wants to. You have a Mrs. Claus that wants to go to Ireland, and Santa Robert wants to go to Ireland.
Oh, nice.
All right, so let's turn it on you. What
I,
would be your place?
well, it'd be one of those, where would I like to go? You know, I I think I would love to be Santa in Germany at the Christmas village, or down in Hirschard. In Hirschard, there was a village that I stayed at before. Ah, Nuremberg. Yeah, that would be it's a great place. So my daughter, when they were in the military, was stationed, in Germany, and India. Ooh, that would be a ministry. Yeah, that'd be great. So I think the Germany, being there just because of being at that Christmas village, it was just so awesome. And then down all the way down to Hirschard, where we stayed, and then also the other place that would be so fun to go would be Garmisch and Parish, right down on the Alps.
Hmm.
We stayed down there, and to think about the Van Trapps coming over the Alps and being
Oh
able to
yeah.
physically see them, and then going through Munich. We call it Munich. They said München in Germany, and so yeah, so that's part of it. So let's see.
Like well, John says the Black Forest region, which would be fantastic.
Oh, which is gorgeous. I've been through that. He said in that Germany too. And
Charlie says Sweden,
I didn't know that about Charlie. That
and of
Sweden.
course Santa Allen says he would just stay in good old America. And we've had some other ones. There was St. Louis Mrs. Claus, or St. Louis Mrs. Claus said Greece.
And it would be
John.
fun to go like on the West Coast sometime, someplace to be,
Mhm.
out there and to do, or Hawaii. Wouldn't I mean, I don't hear a lot about Santas in Hawaii. Wouldn't it be fun to do, Santa down there on the beach in Hawaii in the middle of Christmas, and Melaleuca thingy, you know?
Dude, we just get you a grass skirt, man. You'd be busting it out the hulas there. But this one touches my heart a little bit too. John McLeod was like St. Jude's Hospital.
Oh, that's awesome.
You
Yeah,
know,
that would be
I
cool.
I guess for me, there's not one location I would go to. But you know what would be interesting?
What?
Would be to go to the different military bases that actually have families with them, and being able to go and travel and become, how they have Toys for Tots from like the
Hmm.
Marine Corps and stuff.
Yeah,
Imagine actually being a liaison with Toys for Tots, but you get to travel to different places and sit for
yeah.
those children to hand out those presents.
Oh yeah, yeah, and that would be sweet. I had in COVID, I had one visit where the father was stationed overseas,
Mm-hmm.
and came on. The father from overseas came, and then his children came, and it was almost like forget about the Santa visit. I'm just the means to got the two together because the kids would talk to their dad like crazy, and I just kind of sat there, the third party, instead of being a focus point. But it was so cool to be able to know that I was able to bring those families together like that, mom and dad and the kids, and yeah, so that was cool.
Mike Connor says, I would like to do Midland, Michigan for one night at Santa House.
Oh yeah, if
And
you've
then,
never had a chance to go to the Santa house or go to Charles W. Howard in October, I think every Santa should experience that at least once. you
and
know
then Santa John says, oh no, wrong one. He was making a comment saying that you had a lovely pair of coconuts. But Santa Doug said he
oh, sorry.
well, no, spoken like a true Dutchman. That one popped up here. All right, I'm getting Santa Doug's here right now. There it is. To be Santa Claus in the Netherlands would be exciting. Why,
Yeah,
Doug? So you can actually go ahead and ride the boat in, and then take your horse, Amerigo, and travel around the Netherlands. That would be
yeah,
fun.
wouldn't that be cool? That'd be fun. All right. So, all right, another question for you that we got in. It said, "What visit touched your heart the most as Santa?"
Oh my goodness! Why don't you answer your first? Why don't you answer it first?
Oh, I because I'm curious to see if my what I know about you, what you would answer. So I was curious on that.
Well,
What
I know it. I
look?
know.
I
I
think
know. I think I know which one I would say would be the best one for you. But
well, it
what
was
do you think?
my very first professional gig. In other
Oh,
words, I've
okay.
got years that I never charged anything, and it was weekend warrior stuff, and it was down at the daycares in our town, and one and done, and you'd have the suit for the weekend because I always did it for you rent me the suit and I'll do it for you, and so I never thought about buying my own suit. Why I didn't think about buying it, but I just figured it was out of, I didn't, you buy the suit, I'll do your Santa, right? So I got years and years and years of that. And so when I made the decision about being a professional Santa, as I got close to retiring, from school, my very first professional gig was a Christmas in July.
Mm-hmm.
And it was for a child that had a brain tumor. And I, answered that, and she knew sign language, and so it was one of those here, but she communicated back in signs. Okay, and so since I had a little bit of sign language experience from my first degree and that, I got the job, and so I'm visiting with her and loving it, and then friends of her, she was 5 years old, and so then friends, there was another deaf child that came in, was walking up, and I could see that she had a cochlear implant. So I knew that she was deaf. And so I just told her, I went, Santa's just so happy to see you. And she just froze. And she looked up at her mom and said, Santa's talking to me, right? And then ran and jumped in my arms and then just said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm thinking, all I did was say hi. You know what I mean? But there was just such a bond, that I'm not sure if there was ever a Santa in her life that talked to her before. And so we
And
chatted and we sang songs, and it was, yeah, I think, and the prep to it beforehand. In other words, my mind kept going, how am I going to do this? This child with a brain tumor, and she has she's got a trach in her and she can't talk. And how am I going to do this? And finally, my heart, I kept praying and praying. Finally, my heart settled on, well, how would you act if it was your grandchild? And all of a sudden, I thought, I would just love her. I would look past all the tubes, all of the different things, and I would love her. And that's literally how I walked into that tough situation, just thinking she was my grandchild and I wanted to love her and bless her. And I had a phenomenal time with everyone that came.
see, and that's what the amazing part is. I think oftentimes we all get tied into, you know, I'm performing Santa. I'm doing Santa. And we then start looking at scripts and canned responses, and it just becomes very automatic. And I think one reason why that was so touching is the fact that you just threw all that away. Like, I'm just going to react in the moment. I
Yeah.
don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how anything could happen. I'm just going to be me. And I
Yeah.
think that's a lot of times what everybody needs to actually start going into this vocation as. It's like, just be truthful.
Yeah, before you answer it, let me show Bill's real quick. Bill's is kind of
Oh,
cool. This
yeah.
would be neat. A 96-year-old lady sitting on Santa's lap for the very first time ever.
Well, look at Santa Max's.
Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
And then Max will bring up Max too.
Yep.
Was
And
getting a gift of coal for many colors to the children after she lost her grandmother. Oh my.
and
Yeah.
then Santa Mike actually put in his favorite, hardest was the family photo session with baby Vera.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, just as a side note here, and this is nothing in there, but Santa Kevin, he asked, "Is there anywhere to learn sign language geared toward Christmas signing?" Well,
Yes.
and you know what, Santa Kevin, this is a great opportunity. We're actually in the process right now of securing a translator for the deaf community to come onto the show, and we're going to talk about different signs. I mean, for me personally, I know Santa loves you because again, the universal sign for Santa is this. Yep. I
One
also know
hand or
Merry
two hands.
Christmas is this.
Merry,
Yep.
happy, with a
Merry
C,
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Look at you, you're doing so good.
I
Yes.
this
So I talked the other day to the interpreter that was at our school. That in fact she came to my class, when we have deaf children in the school, and so I've got an appointment to talk to her next week to get a date set. So
so
hopefully that will be soon.
just stay tuned. Santa Ken, he has a very good one too. Is last year after a tree lighting, a high school choir member came up to me and she said she really needed to see Santa because she had just buried her grandmother the day before.
Oh,
Then we had a short conversation about how she can remember her.
yeah, yeah.
And then Bill Stockwell, Santa Bill, said, last year I did a visit in memory loss unit. The smiles on their faces were priceless.
That's right.
And you know what, Bill? I mean, Michael talked about this too. A lot of times you start going into some of these nursing homes or senior living communities and even hospitals, and they could be early stages of Alzheimer's or in full blown Alzheimer's. But the one thing is they never forget Santa.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and I've heard stories of, Santa's coming into the nursing home and a patient that hasn't said anything for months, and they walked in the room and all of a sudden they started singing a song and wanted Santa and then called out Santa's name.
Yeah.
Nurses, everyone's crying, thinking that she couldn't hear, and Santa's presence brought back, a different frame of mind. When you study some of that a little bit, but some of those memories, yeah, Santa's an awesome gig. So, how about you? What was a meaningful for you?
Well, for me, there's not one in particular. I know a lot of times I speak about the little boy with who lost his brother since the year when I first saw him the previous year. But to be honest with you, I think some of the best visits I've had is when afterwards the parents have come up to me and said, "Thank you. You just gave me another year of my child believing."
Yeah,
And I can't tell you how much that means to me. And again, it's because, you invest into this craft, you're constantly learning, but everybody just has a different take. I
and
was,
share your story about the little boy with the
uh,
principal. I
uh,
love
oh
that
yeah,
story.
during COVID again, I was doing a special needs school. And of course, since we couldn't be in person, we did everything on Zoom, which is always very challenging when you get special needs classrooms for this. But I was met this little boy. His name was Caleb, I believe. Was it Caleb? I believe it was Caleb. Anyway, as we're going through and we're doing the visit, this little boy was just so innocent. He was just so excited. And then left that classroom, was getting ready to go into another one. And then after that one completed, the principal came back out. I thought, did I do something wrong? And she goes, Santa. And I said, yes, what can I do for you? She's like, I just want to let you know that Caleb came running into my office following your visit. I just wanted to tell him he loves you.
Oh, I know, isn't that awesome?
And, out of mouth of babes comes the truth. And that just made so much fun. And it just, oftentimes we don't know what we get into when we put the suit on. But when you get a visit like that, you're just thinking to yourself, going, yeah, I was meant to do this. There's something there. Santa John, I had a young lady of 92 last season. I assume the younger gentleman was her son. She couldn't see, and she had a very hard of hearing, and she was very hard of hearing. But I got up and sat on the corner of the taller prop chest and had her sit with me, put my arm around her, and just relished the radiance of her energy. And
Wow.
yes, John, you're absolutely right. It doesn't take words, it's just actions. It's just showing that
Yeah.
you simply care.
Yeah. Say, hey, we got some new people that just joined on. If you
Yeah.
haven't had a chance, if you would, how many years have you been a Christmas performer? Right now, 0 to 3. If you're a watcher, all you have to do is in the comment type hashtag, and then in A if it's 0 to 3, hashtag B if it's 4 to 6, hashtag C 7 to 10, hashtag D 11 to 20, hashtag E 21 to 30, and hashtag F more than 30. just if you wanna go ahead and do that, that's just one of those, gives us an idea a little bit where we're at. And it's really cool to see so many new Santas.
Exactly. It's wonderful to see so many new Santas. Well, Michael,
Absolutely
while
love
they're
it.
voting, or while they're entering their information, why don't we go ahead and run the first batch of our contributors?
Oh, sounds good. Good idea.
Since 1948, one suit defined Santa. Designed by Charles W. Howard and worn by the world famous Santa Claus School. Worn for presidents, movies, parades, and the most magical moments in families' lives. This is not a costume, but finely tailored, hand-sewn clothing made in the USA. With expert cleaning, restoration, and storage services available, Santa and Company LLC makes Santa magical.
Are you going crazy managing clients, contracts, and invoices? Kringle Tracker is here to help you. Stay organized with ease. Keep your sanity in check with Kringle Tracker's intuitive tools to effectively manage your schedule and clients. Our seamless, customizable contract system allows you to tailor your contracts to you and your clients' needs. Prepare for tax time like a pro by tracking your income and expenses and generate reports to make it a breeze. Transform your Claus business by signing up for a free 20-day trial. Kringle Tracker was created by a Claus for the Claus community so you can focus on making magical memories for your clients. Head over to kringletracker.com and sign up for your free trial today.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we got some more comments here. I just want to go through. Okay, we had that one there. Santa Doug says Jenny
Hang on, I was
Kringle.
just
No, no,
wanted to
no.
see the stats that people were voting and said,
Again.
"Oh yeah, there it goes." A little bit more. The 10 to the C section, the 7 to 10 grew a little bit there. Nice, I like it. All right, we'll come
Awesome.
back to that later. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, Santa Doug said Jenny Kringle and him do a child grief share party every year. Children who have lost a parent, sibling, or grandparent. Santa John says the biggest challenge with ASL is practicing when you don't have another who understands. Well, you know what, John? This is something else that's really good too, is because if you can find some like-minded individuals, you can always have a Zoom session, and then you guys could practice the ASL.
I was just thinking
one
that
night.
maybe after we have Retha come on, maybe we could do a couple practice sessions
Or maybe we could,
on a Friday or something.
or an evening Zoom sometime during the week or something like that. That we can give everybody a chance to come in and practice what they've learned, or
Yeah.
an opportunity to practice. That'd be a great
Is that a
idea.
good idea, John? I'd be willing to do that. I mean, not like every week kind of thing, but to do a couple practice sessions to give people a chance.
That'd be great.
I would do that Is there anybody else that would like that? Is anyone else on there? Make that comment, because I mean, I'm willing to put the work in and set that up, but as long as I know people are going to respond to it. So if you like that idea, I'm willing to do that. Why don't you do me a favor? Drop us a note at kringlebrothers2@gmail.com and let us know that, hey, I would take advantage of that. And so if we can get like 10 people to say that to me in an email or whatever, then I'll come back and we'll set up a time and we'll do that. How's that sound?
But should we put a cap on it? Should it just be basically maybe the first 20? That way you don't have too many people and everything's small and stuff like that.
And it gives me a chance to be able to answer questions if I know the answer. If I don't,
Right.
I'll say I don't. But yeah.
And then if we have to, if we get a really a lot of people going on, maybe we'll do a couple of them. Maybe one
Two sessions.
sessions. Well, Santa Chris says, I've been doing the Down Syndrome Association Christmas party for 5 years, and my heart fills with every visit. And hello, Santa Denny from Virginia, and of course, Papa Santa out in California.
Oh yeah, Don, I love you, brother.
He says, I would love to talk about your comment. Please message me.
Oh, all right.
I don't know
I'm
if
not
that
sure
was
which
you
comment.
or which
Was that
one.
Don? Was that from Don?
Yeah, that was from Don.
All right.
And then Santa John McLeod, I'm interested on the pie chart of the diminishing numbers over time. Wonder if there is a burnout threshold or turnover.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Yeah, I hate to say this, I mean, sometimes it's one of those, we're not the healthiest group of guys and
No.
ladies in the world, and sometimes I think that number isn't is there because we pass away. I mean, in other words, so it doesn't that longevity of it, because a lot of Santas come in it, later in their 70s, instead of, younger Santas.
Well,
That's why seeing Bubba,
well, I actually seen Bubba's son Ty.
coming into this, that's really, that's special, yeah.
Oh, Santa Don, or his comment was about India. So I think it was Santa John Courtney. I think actually said he wanted to go to India. So that might be something to get you two connected on that one there.
Yeah. All right. Hey, here's another question that came in.
Yep.
What does the spirit of Christmas mean to you?
Ooh. Well, we can always give the canned answer. I mean, the spirit of Christmas is basically, I mean, it all depends on how you look at it. It's love, it's sharing, it's that warm fuzzy you get when you're with your family and your friends.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's truthfully what it is. I mean, I love what somebody put down is you start off believing in Santa, then you basically question Santa, then you don't believe in Santa, and then you become Santa.
I mean, yeah, the four stages. Yeah.
Jenny makes a really good example, hope.
Yeah, that's awesome, Jen.
And then Charlie, of course, gifting and being kind. But Jenny's comment really actually intrigues me as well too, because I know from September 11th attacks at the World Trade Center, it was kind of interesting following the attacks in September that some of the radio stations here in Michigan started playing Christmas music.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, and the reason for it is what they found that Christmas music brings in that nostalgic feel, and it helps people because Christmas can be a stressful time, but the music actually helps them cope with a lot of the stress.
Yeah. Here's Randy's.
Uh-huh. Yep, it's a smile you get with little kids and adults see you and they show all their love.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's an off question since you brought up 9/11.
Hmm.
Um, how do you handle that because that's your birthday?
Well, I had the birthday first.
Well, yeah, you did have the birthday before the quote 9/11. You were 9/11 all your life.
Exactly.
So
No,
I wonder if that's what, yeah, yeah, please call someone in authority. I'm 9/11. You know?
no. To be honest with you, the only thing that bothers me with that day, and it's one of the weird things that happened at the job I was working at. We listened to the radio, and every day they would give they would call your name and they would give you a prize money. And it was so funny is because early in the morning, I got the phone call from the radio station. They're like, listen, during this time and this time, we're going to announce your name and you have to call in and you're going to win like $1,000.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, this is great. It's my birthday. This is great, right? And I think I had to call in like right around 8 o'clock or like a little bit after 8. So I'm listening to the radio. I'm listening. Then all of a sudden, the worst thing ever happened. The planes crashed. And then some like, uh-oh. Well, then after the towers came down and everybody, was figuring out what's going on and trying to realize, I could only imagine it was like when JFK got shot. The radio station made an announcement that all the prize money that would be given out that day would be made as a donation. And I'm like, I was a little bummed.
Yeah.
But then again, the good part is it was going for something better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, too, is, the most ironic thing, though, is when you sit there and you look at stuff, yes, I was born on September 11th. My sister was born on April 19th.
Oh.
And that was the Oklahoma City bombing.
Wow,
So
there's something about your family. Yeah.
yeah,
All
so
right, let's bring up Doug's comment real quick.
okay.
The spirit of Christmas is the love of Jesus shown through peace, love, kindness, generosity, and the caring for others.
See, you guys are so well versed with what the spirit of Christmas means, and it's great.
Oh, I love Gary's too. Love in action. You
And
know.
that's quoted from Ed Taylor.
Yeah.
All right, now here's a question I have for you. Oh, along with your thoughts on the diminishing numbers, it might be interesting to know the age range most get started. Is there a trend on men starting younger than, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
You know what? I can't. I wish I could answer that firmly. I would. My view doesn't mean it's right, and it's probably, it's only my little slice of the pie, and not nationwide or bigger. I think I see younger people coming in younger, but less. I mean, do you see that? In other words, I see, instead of people waiting till they're 70, I do see some Santas starting at a younger age, and it seems to be more. But there's also, in my opinion, I'm seeing less Santas come in, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I understand it. This is kind of like with a lot of fraternal groups here. We have a population of Santas, and unfortunately, we all get older. And as the older ones retire, or unfortunately, they cross, we're looking for the replacements for those. So the population really never advances or decreases. It kind of like levels it all out. Now, some of the people texting right now here is like sad that it sometimes takes a bad disaster to bring us out of the best charity. Yes, Chris, you're right. John Star says he started at 49, felt very young in that season. I'm
wow, that
also
was
seeing
awesome.
less volunteering by younger generations per Charlie. Well, I think at the same time too is we have to look. I think a lot of individuals who get into this vocation is usually after they retire. And the reason for it is so they can feel that they can put their time, effort, and energy without having to manage a full time job, family commitments.
Yeah,
Santa Kevin says, I mean, he started doing it when he started turning gray/white.
yeah,
Santa
yeah,
Robert Williams started at 50. Well, guys, I started at 48.
yeah.
And I didn't have a beard. I was using a designer beard for it as all too. Again, I'm a firm believer that every Santa, whether you're blessed with the locks of Michael or not, that you should still know how to apply a designer beard because,
Yeah.
again, as we age, as crazy new things come out, you never know what can actually lose your hair. Or
Ooh,
even if you
look at
take
Kevin
care of
starting
it
at
and you dye
24.
it,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's like you just never know.
Well,
Like,
like I started young, but it was just like I said, a weekend warrior. In other words, I would
mhm.
do one weekend a year. I do the daycare, or I would do, and then I had the suit, and you call the family up. So it wasn't. I mean, I was just so focused in my career and taking care of my family that I didn't think about expanding that until I got closer to retirement. You know.
And again, though, it's a lot of people only view that's being Santa or portraying as Santa being a Christmas performer is only for November and December. But if you're gifted that you look like Santa all year round, then you need to actually realize that you know what you may have to act like that all year round
Yeah.
as well. There's
Well,
just some
let's
other
do.
comments.
All right, mark it, and then let's do Santa Gary send us something. Let's
Oh,
play.
you want to see Santa Gary's joke? Okay, let's go.
What do you call a scary reindeer? A caribou.
I don't know what was
Like
funny. Him, the joke, him
caribou.
just going caribou.
I'm thinking what I was great is then the dog jumps on. It's like, oh, you're talking to me?
Well, I got another question for you, Michael.
All right.
Here's a good one, and it's something that Mike Connor said here in the chat. There are some Santas that don't think that they need to continue to learn. What's your opinion on constantly learning?
Well, I'm a lifelong learner. You
Yes,
know
I know
that.
that. That's why I asked you.
I support. Well, and it's because it's one of those, and maybe I'm so into that component of knowing that I constantly learning because my degree is in technology. Okay, which means when I went to school, we had 8.5-inch floppies,
Yeah, and you're
right?
using
And punch
Cobol and
cards, right?
Fortran.
I Fortran and Cobalt and punch cards. And if you wanted to get your friend in the lab, all you did was slide one card out, because that would blow the whole program up. So in other words, when I look at the start of my career and then where I ended, the computers and the green screens and the laptops and then doing media presentations with kids. I mean, I constantly had to press into technology to stay up and to teach things and to share things and explore. And I literally would go to kids going, you got to teach me, help me, and literally set up my classroom where it was a learning lab where we all learned together, and I'm learning right along with them. And so all of that to preface, when it comes to Santa, it's the same thing. How can I understand a child? I constantly have to work on learning more because what I did today or this season may not work for the next season. And so I want to have as many tools in my bag for situations and to understand how to use those tools or things to say or to present or props or whatever they might be. It's always morphing and changing. Answers that I thought were good today, I found a better way, to say it to for this moment. And I know there's some things that will be even better in the future. I just haven't uncovered them yet.
I agree with everything you said. Unfortunately for me, you're a little bit earlier in Fortran and Cobalt. I was just basic, but but the I also agree that as with our normal lives, methods, ideas, methodology all changes very quickly. And you should always be able to stay up on the latest trends. You may not use those trends, but you should have to actually be up on them. It's no different than every year going to a toy store and looking at all the toys and trying to figure out what's going to be the best one that they're going to be asking for this year,
Yeah.
or what's the most current favorite kids TV shows. Because again, how many of you out there can name every character in Bing and Bluey,
No, I can't.
and whether or not Bluey is a boy or a girl?
I can't do it.
Say, and then again, you have to also look at
That's
the
like asking the question, you turn purple if you hold your breath. So what color does Papa Smurf turn?
no, you turn blue when you hold your breath.
Yeah, that's Papa Smurf. You turn blue, so what color does Papa Smurf turn? Like, you're gonna do a joke, how do it right. Back to who was it? Someone made the comment about the punch cards being the evil
Yep.
empire.
That was I believe
Well,
what
you
was
know
it?
what? They did make great Christmas wreaths. We fold the ends of them and staple and spray paint them. They did turn into a really cool Christmas wreath.
Now, what I just to kind of go back to training here is, you know, I do understand that there's a lot of wonderful training opportunities out in our community as well. Some of them do cost, some of them are free. But I think what you need to do is just kind of even like if you were going to a job interview. I think you have to look at who is actually giving the instruction and look at what they've accomplished and why.
Yeah.
Because I mean, anybody can talk. I mean, you guys listen to me, and that's what the funny part about it is. But the thing is, a lot, and this brings me up to my next question, and even everybody listening and watching can answer this one. Michael came up with the wonderful tagline, "We're better together." What's your definition of "we're better together"? And I'm offering that. Why did you come up with that, Michael?
Well, it's because I know that it's exponential. In other words, I can learn so much and I can only do so much in who I am. And then if I add you to it instead of, two, instead of four, now it literally is exponential in who we are. And a child doesn't look at me as, there's Santa Michael and there's Santa Herbie and there's Santa John and there's Santa Chris. They look at, a child will look at you and go, that's Santa. So in other words, if I do a good job, if I plant those seeds and that magic, I've made your job easier for you then to exponentially take that magic and keep it going. And so by putting into each other's life and sharing with it, so that's why when we do it, it's free sharing, so we then become better. We're better together.
See, and when you first brought that up, it was just so easy to incorporate it into our lives, into our platform, into our teaching, because I think it also embodies what Charles Howard was trying to do.
Yeah.
And that is, if we're all along the same lines, if we all can actually come out to a general consensus, it doesn't matter if you see Santa or Mrs. Claus in California, or go to Iowa, or down to Louisiana, or to Indiana, or to New York, or England, Ireland, wherever, you're still going to basically have that same feeling.
Well, let's play a game.
We're going to play a game? Uh-oh.
Yeah, let's Wade and Scarlett are just absolutely wonderful.
Oh, we're going to do that game. All right.
Since its founding in 2004, Santa's Closet has been committed to providing unique, high-quality accessories for Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the entire Claus community. Our mission is to deliver exceptional customer service and outstanding value, offering competitive pricing and a wide selection of products designed to enrich the Claus experience.
Ooh, all right, Michael, why don't you go ahead give the rules?
The rules are simple. Welcome to Trivia, brought to you by Santa's Closet. Now, if you have won within the last 8 weeks, you are not eligible to participate. So therefore, the person who basically won our very first show on March 11th is not able to basically rejoin us until...
Is it next week?
No, it's actually 2 weeks ago. So, anyway.
Oh, by the way, who was our first winner? Was it Charlie?
No, it was Kane Smith, followed by AJ. So, AJ, you're now eligible. As of today, you are eligible.
Oh, my.
Now,
AJ.
Charlie is still
here.
in
I can see
out.
AJ's drooling.
Now, if you are the winner, please email us your shirt size, your address, and your name to kringlebrothers2@gmail.com so we can forward that to Wade and Scarlett of Santa's Closet so you can receive your item. Also, unfortunately, if you do live not within the United States, Canada, New Zealand, Mexico, unfortunately, we cannot ship anything.
For all the people that wanted Ireland.
Yes.
I tell you something,
So unfortunately, that sounds more Scottish.
All right, I work on my Ireland thing better.
Unfortunately, we cannot ship overseas unless you do have somebody that can actually have a address here in the United States that can get it to you. So with that, please put your phones away. Please take your computers and do not Google. Let's play fair. Let's see who has the fastest answers in the north. I am now watching the chat for Facebook and on YouTube so we can get the best answer. So go ahead, Michael, and
here we go.
Question.
Tonight's question is who sings decorations of red on green Christmas trees won't mean a thing if you're not here with me? And then once we play the game, you can tell them what I asked. Decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing if you're not here with me. Who sings that? Who sang? Singing.
Oh, Ken. Ken got the right answer.
Woo-hoo!
Yes. Sorry, Santa Ellen and Santa Scott. They just beat you by a little bit.
Second.
You have just a second. So with that, it is Santa Ken.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Ken. Just a reminder, please If you would, send your first name, last name, address, city, state, and zip in your t-shirt size to kringlebrothers2@gmail.com, and we will forward that information to Wade right away. And congratulations on winning. You want to tell them what I
Yeah.
accidentally did?
Well,
What? This is why you always check before you go live.
a lot of people don't realize that before the show, Michael and I are usually on about 45 minutes before we get started because we basically have our own little rehearsal. Well, Michael was showing me tonight's trivia question, and again, decorations of red on a green Christmas tree won't mean a thing if you're not here with me, and his original answer was elves.
I accidentally when I autocorrect.
So here's a question to ponder. Was Elvis really Elvis, or was he just a bunch of elves in
Elves.
disguise?
Or and then what did you make the comment that Elvis was just a tall elf with good-looking hair?
Yeah, Elvis was just nothing but a tall elf with better looking hair. With that pompadour you couldn't go wrong with. You know what I'm saying?
Congratulations, Ken, for answering correctly. Where the autocorrect, at least I got it fixed before we went live.
And yes, Chris, it can be a depressing Christmas song, but you know what? We all love Christmas, and there's a lot of King followers out there still.
And Elvis, instead of red, too bad instead of blue suede shoes, they weren't red.
Yeah, well then, because he took the song from Carl Perkins.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, my Blue Suede Shoes was a remake. Carl Perkins sang it first.
All right. So, any last comments, Michael, that you'd like to make before we go tonight?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who followed us, everybody who watched us. Again, if you have not done so, please follow us on Facebook at the Kringle Brothers, or you can find us on YouTube too. Again, the Kringle Brothers. Like us, follow us, subscribe. Just let you know.
We should have like a prize or do something because we're almost to 2,000.
Right, we're at last look we are 1,898. So only 102 people off from actually breaking 2,000. So if you please share with your family, with your friends. A lot of things that we share, we talk a lot about the four chambers of the performance heart here. But you know what? It's just kind of nice to hear some of these heartwarming stories. Thank you to each and every one of you for those that shared. You guys are all amazing. You men and women, thank you so much for everything you did.
And that's everyone. If we didn't get a chance to put yours out, tonight, we still really appreciate it a lot. And your sharing. It's hard to get everyone's comment on.
Well, within an hour, because we want to be respectful of everybody's time. So we want to try to make sure that we're respectful to you. And Santa Blue Eyes, for all that know, Santa Carl White, he likes Porky Pig's version of Blue Christmas.
That would be fun. It would be fun to get Carl to come on and talk about some of his game show stuff.
Oh my goodness, that would be kind of cool. Well,
All
maybe
right,
we'll
Carl,
try to get Carl on there.
Let me know if you'd like to do that. I'd love to have you on. You can talk about it.
Yeah.
So all of that. But thanks, everyone. We appreciate it. Everyone at the TNL Network, Bob and Scott and Spangle and Angie, we thank you for the opportunity, and for Larry providing insurance for us, and Roger with Kringle Tracker and helping us out, and Wade and Scarlett for all the things that you supply for the community and the giveaways. We so appreciate each and every one of you. And you.
Well, now let's not, before we get to us, now let's thank Sam Minatello from Santa & Company.
Oh,
LLC.
yeah. I got to add Sam to the list now that we're showing.
He makes all our suits, and it's a great guy. We also like to say a big major thank you to our lovely brides, Linda and Stacy, for allowing us to do this. And again, thank you to each and every one of you. Are we going to try to do this?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
We should try it. So until we meet again, may your days be jolly and your heart shine bright.
May the magic of Christmas fill every aspect of your life.
And remember to be good for goodness sake.
Spread joy and share kindness to all you see.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
We appreciate you.
Well, that was crazy. I got cut off
Go
quick.
party. I all of a sudden I thought, oh, did I accidentally click Kevin's response? Did you do that, or was that me,
I,
or was that you?
well, if somebody clicked it on, I clicked it off.
I must have been a fat finger going by.
Well,
All right.
I got today's dad joke. I got this from Santa
Oh,
Mel.
oh, this is awesome. So Mel told you this today.
Yeah.
All right.
Why do you not put avocado on your eyes?
Avocado on your eye. Avocado. Eye. What?
So you don't get guac coma.
Mel was an eye tech, wasn't she?
Yeah, she got that from one of her optometrists she worked with.
That's way too fun. All right.
All right. Well, you
Thanks
know
for
what?
the- oh, wait. And if you're going to Castle Noel, I can't wait to see you.
Yep, May 16th. Also, too, is don't forget Santa Day at Rooftop Landing Reindeer Farm in Clare, Michigan on May 30th. Come on up, see the reindeer, see the baby reindeer, and the